I feel so strongly that the Eagles use all of their early draft picks to draft young defensive talent. Do not draft another quarterback, because I simply do not think Philadelphia can handle another quarterback controversy, and I think it's totally unnecessary.
Right.
Welcome back, live post-game show. Mark Farzetta, Derek Gunn, Devin Caney with you on 6abc.com, as well as the JAKIB Media YouTube channel. John McMullen will be joining us coming in just a little bit from Denver. Do want to tell you that we are exclusively presented by Ocean Casino Resort. Go for the live show. Go for the win. Birdman 990 is hitting us up, talking about Jalen Hurts, the obvious takeaway from this game, saying we're not praising him enough. I will say we did lead with Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni that this was one of the best games that they've had, really the best game, I think, since the first game of the season against the Atlanta Falcons that we saw them play. The competition, obviously a much better defensive mind with Vic Fangio. And I saw from Jalen Hurts, I had this thought going into the fourth quarter. We all know what Jalen Hurts is up against. And I'm judging him. I'm trying to judge him the way that this front office is judging him. Like, okay, no matter how well he plays, he's still competing against 3 first-round picks, most likely, going into next year's draft. So when I watched him in this particular game, these are the games Jalen Hurts has to have in order to have any shot of keeping this job after next year. That's what I saw from him tonight. I saw a pro go out there, make plays with his legs, make plays with his arms, keep his eyes downfield when he was trying to roll out of the pocket. I saw a guy play like a pro tonight. I saw a guy that looked like a guy that could be a franchise quarterback of an NFL football team. Loved what I saw from Jalen Hurts. Even the interception looked like his hand got hit. There wasn't a blitz pickup as well. I think Gainwell was back there with him. He should have had a better block on that particular play. He didn't. Ball got hit out of his hand a little bit on that throw, so that's why the interception happened. Overall, didn't think it was the best decision on that particular play, but still, that was a money throw he made to Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith made a play on the first ball that was put up there for him to make a play, which he got the first touchdown on. Second touchdown, money as well in his breadbasket, and then you also had an awful drop by Quez Watkins in the end zone that just went right through his hands. That was just a perfect throw, dot in the eye from down the field from Jalen Hurts as well. So that, to me, summed up a great game from Jalen Hurts tonight.
I don't think Jalen gets enough credit for maintaining his poise and demeanor. We don't know what he's like behind closed doors, but when he steps in front of a camera, with all the stuff that's going on around him, and then it doesn't help when you see video all over the place of his general manager watching a college football game, watching a Pittsburgh game, watching a quarterback. That doesn't help me. That does not bode well for getting the vote of confidence. Now, from a managerial standpoint, you have to check everything when you're deciding what you're going to do in the future. And a lot of times, these GMs go to different games and you don't even notice it, because it's not that big. But for whatever reason, Howie Roseman is seen up in the press box with binoculars on, looking at the quarterback play in that Pittsburgh game the other night. And, of course, we in the media, in the fan base, we blow it up, we magnify it, because we feel that's what the Eagles are going to do with their first pick. If, the quarterbacks today who are considered mediocre coming in and going into next year's draft, I guarantee you, by the time they go through the scouting combine next year and their own individual workouts at their universities, there's going to be 1 or 2 of them that are all of a sudden going to go from the level of mediocre to all of a sudden this kid could be your next franchise quarterback. And one team is going to bite. I mean, look at how many Dwayne Haskins there's been in the last few years. Quarterbacks like that. Sometimes you can over-evaluate the position, and a number of teams have done that. You look at Sam Darnold. There was Sam Rosen. Is he even still in the league now? All these first-round quarterback picks. For every one that all of a sudden ascends to the status of elite early in his career, there's a whole bunch that are still trying to tread water and stay afloat. And I don't blame the Eagles for doing their due diligence. If that were me, if I was a general manager, I would have been sitting in the second or third row where the cameras couldn't have seen me. I would have had my head of scouting sitting in the first row with his binoculars, and I would have been asking him questions from a distance. But, Howie Roseman, he's right there up in the front, hanging out in the press box, binoculars on. And, of course, now, What is this young man, Jalen Hurts, thinking now? My GM doesn't even believe in me. What else do you want me to do? The young man protects the football. I'll give him that first and foremost. And I've said from day one, and I'll continue to say, I still think he's a great athlete who's playing quarterback, who's becoming a much better quarterback each and every week. You're right. He threw that great deep ball that Quez Watkins dropped, threw a great pass to Devonta Smith for the touchdown. Devonta went up with a great move and took it away from Patrick Surtain. So Jalen Hurts has the ability, and he's sure-handed with the football. I think his completion percentage today was close to 70%. We're always talking about the other quarterbacks completing 75, 85, 90% of their passes against the Eagles defense. Let's give Jalen Hurts some credit today. He completed almost 70% of his passes. He did, he kept his team moving, made the right decisions with the football. And a few times he was under duress, he even made the right decisions with the football then. So I see a young quarterback who still has not had a full season in the National Football League under his belt. This is his 14th game as a professional football player, and he's making progress. And that's what I've said from the beginning. I want to see him make progress each and every week. Did he have some setbacks? Yes. Hall of Fame quarterbacks have setbacks, but I still see that steady progress with him in terms of decision maker, using his legs when he has to, and being accurate when he needs to be.
I totally agree with you. And even before this game, which Jalen Hurts played incredibly, I've been a Jalen Hurts supporter, even when he hasn't had some good moments, some bad games, of course, that we've all seen. But we've talked about his mentality, and you can just tell he's such a leader for the entire team, for the offense. And I think that they need to give him time. I hated seeing that Howie video. It was funny because he also just looked ridiculous sitting up there. I feel so strongly that the Eagles use all of their early draft picks to draft young defensive talent. Do not draft another quarterback, because I simply do not think Philadelphia can handle another quarterback controversy, and I think it's totally unnecessary. Deacon, I always think back to a point you made, not even just weeks ago, that has stuck with me, where we have this young coaching staff. We have Jalen Hurts only in his second year. And this team is still learning who they are, and we're seeing that. And again, we always talk about adjustments and improvements, and I think we're finally seeing that on both sides of the ball, and that takes time. So if you go in and you draft a quarterback, whether it's Kenny Pickett or what, it's slim pickings this year too. We're just going to start over. It'd be starting from ground zero again, and that's just. I literally might have to lose my fandom in the Eagles if that happens, because I don't think I can emotionally handle it. And I don't think every other Eagles fan can handle that. I think give Jalen Hurts time. We saw what he can be today. We saw it last week. I think he has promise for sure.
I could see the Eagles possibly trying to package a couple of their first round picks. If a certain quarterback comes available, people keep talking about Aaron Rodgers may be available.
I don't think
Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson may be. Do you think either one of them want to come to Philadelphia now and play for this team?
No.
And that's not a knock against Philadelphia, but you're talking about two guys who have won Super Bowls, who are the best of the best in what they do. They want to put themselves in a position like an Odell Beckham did, to be with a contender. Now, this Eagles team could be a contender next year, but at this stage of their careers, they don't want to take that risk. They want to go somewhere where they already have the pieces in place, like Tom Brady did going to Tampa Bay. You just want to be able to walk in and keep that machine moving. So all these people out here talking about, hey, Aaron Rodgers could come here, Russell Wilson could come here. Russell Wilson has a no-trade clause in his contract. Do you think he's going to give that up to come to Philadelphia? No. And if Jalen Hurts continues to play the way he's playing now, bite the bullet, give this young man another year. I'm not saying don't draft a quarterback somewhere down the road in the draft next year that you can develop. But I can't say it enough. You need defensive players. You need to get 3 of the top 10, 15 defensive players coming out in the draft next year. Build. Look what Dallas did. I can't say it enough. Dallas spent their first 6 draft picks on defensive players this year. Okay? Now, Dallas's defense is not considered a lights-out defense, but one of the biggest reasons why Dallas is 8-2 right now is because the defense has played a lot better. It has taken a lot of pressure off of that offense. That offense is loaded with weapons, but you can't win every 37 to 35 shootout. You've got to have a defense to make stops. And that defense has done that for them. That's why Dallas is playing the level of football they're playing right now. They got a bunch of kids flying around. They've got 3 or 4 young players who are contributing right now significantly. Go in that draft, get you 3 of the best 15 defensive players coming out of the draft, put them in place, keep building around that. You're going to bring some more veteran free agents in here because you're going to have more cap space. You may not need as much as you think you need if you let these young kids like Davion Taylor, Kayvon Wallace, these young guys keep developing, add to those pieces, and sprinkle the veterans that you need to make the defense that much better. You've got the offensive weapons in place. You got a good offensive line. You got a good trio of running backs. You got a young quarterback who's producing. You got a trio of great young wide receivers, that you can play with. You can win with that. You can win with that. Maybe not now because you're too far behind the 8 ball, but next year the product will be a whole lot better than what it is right now.
So we're all in favor of drafting 3 defensive players in the first round, right?
Absolutely.
We're all in favor. Are we predicting that they actually will?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so. I didn't think so.
I feel so strongly about it. I'm trying to scream it from the rooftops, please.
Yeah.
Go head to the Art Museum steps and we'll shout it from there, and hopefully everybody hears us down there at the NovaCare Complex. Maybe we'll just go down with a bullhorn at NovaCare Complex and start yelling it at the end of the season. You know what? Someone to help shed a little light on what happened after the game is going to be joining us momentarily from obviously from the Mile High City to break down all that happened after the game with Nick Sirianni and give us a little bit more information as to what happened with the injuries in this game, most notably Dallas Goedert. John McMullen will join the post-game show when we return in a few.